Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the ex-Jehovah's Witness. I am Mitch. Glad that you are here for another episode. Today, I have a special dear guest. It is my one and only Princess Shante. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. You ever think you would do a podcast with your old man?
When you started the first one, yeah, I was like, oh, he'll probably have me on an episode. So a little bit, mostly hoping.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good. Like I was telling you, I wanted to have you on here to show people, especially those that have teens or preteens or children, I guess the mindset of a young one in the religion, talking about the Jehovah's Witness religion. So I was about to say you were born in it, but not really, because
Technically, no.
Young, but when you were born, I was in this fellowship. And your mom wasn't studying yet. So, in fact, you probably don't remember. I don't know if you remember or not, but when I was at this fellowship, I was telling somebody the other day that's the first time I ever celebrated Christmas, and I bought a white Christmas tree. And
I've only heard that story from my mother.
Yeah, you were an infant, and I was holding you, and we were both just staring at the Christmas tree by the fireplace. But eventually, I wanted to go back to the meeting. Witnesses found me around Memorial time. Your mom started studying, came in. So you were like an infant. Your brother was 5. How did you feel from the time you can remember, start remembering? How did you feel about being in the religion?
From my very first memories of being in the religion, as a kid, I mean, I liked it. I didn't understand it until I got older, till I was about like 10. I finally fully started being able to grasp it. Instead of just, the kind of easy concepts like, oh, there's no heaven and hell, there's heaven, but we're gonna go to paradise, and the basics pretty much. But I didn't really mind it growing up. The Kingdom Hall, I didn't like conventions and assemblies. They stressed me out, and I was always bored. And I was always bored at the Kingdom Hall too, but it was a shorter time, so it was a lot better, and I could like get up and go to the bathroom and stretch my legs, and then I'd be fine. But the conventions and assemblies, those were tough.
Oh yeah, they're tough for adults. I can imagine for a young person. I used to be young in it too, but my mom kept me in line.
I would try so hard to stay in line, but I could only color the whole time.
You were good at the Kingdom Hall.
Mm-hmm.
You weren't like your brother Aaron. Never sat still, never was quiet. But so you said you were kind of bored. Sometimes I could tell you were bored, but you used to like to comment and everything.
Comments were so fun.
Yeah, and we went out in the field ministry a lot, you and I.
Mm-hmm.
Are there times? When was it that you realized kind of like, I'm just going through the motions? I need to be good because that's what's expected of me.
I kind of started feeling that way when I was probably 12, but I just kind of pushed it down because I was like, I can't do that. Like I don't want to disappoint my parents and all that. So I just kind of pushed it down and ignored it. And then in freshman year, I really like started thinking about it, and I was like, yeah, I don't think this is going to be the path for me, but we'll just wait it out and see, I guess.
So what was there anything in particular when you were a freshman that like happened or made you think differently, where you thought, okay, this isn't for me?
I think the change in freshman was I was really starting to grasp it. I was looking at all the qualifications and not qualifications, all the questions for baptism and everything. And so I was doing a bunch of more research and really trying to make it my own at that point. And then the more I read, just the more it didn't make sense to me. Like the Bible just, some parts of it just didn't make sense to me. And I was like, I don't know if this is 100% true or what I want to believe in. And then when I started school, just like the difference between the community of Jehovah's Witnesses versus the air quote worldly people, it was so different. And I was like, yeah, I definitely don't fit in with the Jehovah's Witnesses.
Hmm. Yeah, that's I guess normal and natural, not only for young ones but for adults too. Like even at a job, it was hard to fit in because of how different we have to be. Now, as far as baptism, you mentioned baptism. Is that something that you really wanted to do?
Not really. Deep in my heart, I really didn't want to, but I was like, maybe, baptism is the way I can really make it my own, and it'll open a lot of doorways for me, and maybe it's just what I have to do to be able to be a Jehovah's Witness. And so I just kind of did it, going through the motions and everything. And of course, I was really happy to be baptized, and it was a really special moment for the both of us because you baptized me. And so like I never regretted being, getting baptized and everything like that. I'm glad I did it because it did open a lot of doors for me, and I got to venture a lot in the religion just to dig deeper and really be like, yeah, this definitely isn't the path I want to be in my life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was wondering what you bring that up. That I was the one who don't you under. One of us crying like a baby. I won't tell them who.
It wasn't me, guys.
No, it was water from the pool got on my face.
Oh yeah, all the chlorine for sure.
Now, we never, your mom and I, we never like wanted you all to feel forced to get baptized. But it was a weird, I don't know, I wouldn't say weird. It's just, okay. So I was a servant, a ministerial servant. And like me, when I was a teenager, my father was an elder. So it's always this, to me, it was like this quiet voice that always nudged me saying, I need to live a certain way and I need to get baptized. One, if I wanted to keep on doing things in the congregation, like progressing, but two, because of my father's position, him being an elder. I didn't want him to look bad if he had I'm sitting up there 19 or 20 and not baptized. So I got baptized when I was 16. Did you ever feel that way because I was a ministerial servant that maybe I should?
Only a couple times. I never took it too deep into heart because I knew you weren't too worried about rushing me into getting baptized. So I always knew I can take my time and however long I need. So I never really felt like that, only on certain occasions, but that's only when it would be brought up during certain material or a sister or brother comments on it in casual conversation. I'm like, man, I'm not baptized yet. Yeah, and my dad is a ministerial servant. I should be doing a little better by now, but I really just kind of ignored it.
Yeah, and I never wanted to pressure you or your brother. I didn't want you all to feel like I want you all to get baptized just because I was a ministerial servant. Because that, I know how to handle elders. I could have handled my own, but it's for those who listen to me, a lot of teens, from what I'm hearing, they may feel that way because their father or parents may be more vocal about what they need to do as a child to save face or make the family keep looking good in the congregation. In fact, I know someone very close to me that kind of made their child get baptized. But I always felt like, you force a child to get baptized, that's not really them making it their own. Because I've always felt like like it's a personal decision. And I've always told you and your brother, while we're studying, like we all make our own decisions and choices. Like when you're under the roof of your parents, you have to live a certain way. But I always told y'all when you're an adult, you can make your own mind up as far as what you want to do.
Oh
And
yeah.
I would go out on a limb to say you had one of the you had like lenient and relaxed parents, I would say, compared to some of my friends' parents and other kids I see in the hall when
Oh,
we were
incredibly.
some of their parents. Because it's like your mom, she came in when she was an adult,
Mhm.
like early 30s, and me, I've seen like I was just different because I've done different things and been approved in this fellowship, so I viewed things a lot differently, and I never wanted you all to feel pressured or anything.
Oh yeah.
And so it's like it's a fine line between not pushing a child, especially when you're in a high control organization like Jehovah's Witnesses, but also letting them express themselves. And so, like as far as the expectations and rules of the religion, did you feel like you could express yourself as an
No.
individual?
Not at all. Like I knew from a very young age there was only so much I could do with my appearance and how I wanted to present myself, especially while going to the Kingdom Hall. So I knew that from a young age, and I didn't really mind it until I started, wanting to become my own person fully. And I dress different from other people. My hair is usually different colors, unnatural colors, which you can't have in the hall and stuff like that. And I mean, I always viewed it as unfair. Like growing up, I hated it so much, especially in my early teenage years. It always irritated me so much because I remember I wanted to get, um, I think they were just like box braids, and I went and I was like, "Hey, can I get box braids?" And she was like, "No, how will the Kingdom Hall feel about you?" And stuff like that. And I was like, I hate, having to live so restricted by what the Kingdom Hall will think
Mm-hmm.
instead of what Jehovah will think instead, because that's a little more important. But
Mm-hmm.
they don't care about that.
Yeah, those are the type of things. It's rough on a young person. Like I know how it was for me growing up, but I came up in like the '80s, which is a lot different than now. And like I've told you, all the family, I don't know. Like me and knowing myself, I don't know if I could have came up in the digital age that we are in now and still remained a witness. Like I'm just honest. Like if I would have had the internet or a cell phone back when I was a teenager, oh yeah, I would have been out the truth so fast.
No,
Uh,
I understand why.
yeah, it would have been over. And so it's like, I commend the young ones in the religion who stick it out, but still, like where we're at now, and not active witnesses anymore. It's like
Mhm.
I see things a lot differently, and a lot of things that I'm talking with ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, and we laugh because the way we used to live, and I'm just like, man, we were so cringe, and what we expected
Honestly,
of
yeah.
each other. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'll look back on certain memories of like me and some of my JW friends, and I'll be like, the way our humor had to be because we couldn't joke about certain things. It's just so sad. And like my entire friend group knew there was some things we wanted to joke about, but we just couldn't
Mm-hmm.
because either we were in the Kingdom Hall or like someone else could hear, or we were in service and stuff like that. And they're just like, it was so awkward constantly. And so I just look back on it, I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, it was always cringy stuff. It's like where we move now, though. Like to me, the witnesses were different. They
Oh
weren't
yeah.
strict as how I came up. The three major cities I've lived in, and so where we are now, it's even the elders that'll curse, and
Mm.
so I always felt weird. because I just wasn't used to elders being like that. And like the longer we lived here, the more I saw we were just in a different place. But you brought up a good point. You said the way you dressed at school, and you like we wanted y'all to have your own unique style, not feel like it was like a you just in a cookie cutter environment. And so you had your own unique style, and like, was that an issue for some of the other witness kids?
Oh yeah. I mean, a lot of kids didn't like the way I dressed, and I have had witnesses my age tell me, "Oh, I think I'm going to stop talking to you for a while because of the way you dress, because you dress in quite a demonic way, because I wear black and red a lot, and so they associated that with the devil." So that was their starters of their issue with me, is just the way I dressed. There's a lot of other reasons they didn't particularly enjoy my company, but
According to all the active witnesses that jump on my post, that's who your father is, the devil. If a day go by that somebody don't call me Satan or the devil, then I felt like I haven't done what I've needed to do that day.
Exactly. My day's not complete until I'm called that.
That's crazy that like even at a young age they were so judgy. And
It's all from their parents.
Yeah, that's the environment. We were just
all learned.
Yeah, we were taught to judge each other and police each other. For them to say though that they're not going to talk to you for a while, that's crazy.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's all their scare tactics, because they thought like we were all best friends, and so they're like, "Oh, I'm going to stop talking to you," thinking I would react in a way as to just staring at them and be like, "Okay." They hated my reactions because I didn't really care about what they said. They would try to get under my skin, and I'd just kind of stare at them and be like, "Okay," and it made them very mad.
That's the best thing to do, is just stare at somebody without replying. So it's like, did they say anything else about you or start any other rumors about you?
Quite a few. The biggest rumor around was, so at that time, it was, when did they start? It was sophomore year, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. It was sophomore year, and I knew like I was definitely not straight. And so but I wasn't with anyone at that time. I had never been, at that point in my life, I had never been with like a girl or anything like that. And so there was one of my friends in high school, and like just how I am as a person, like I'm the type of friend that'll like, oh, if we're walking like to the mall or something or down the hall, I'm going to hold your hand. I'm a very clingy person. And that's how usually all my other friends are. And that girl was like that too. And then my other friend was also like that. And so some of the witnesses were like, they texted me first and was like, I don't know, it's kind of weird how much you and, that one girl hang out, and you guys are always like holding hands or hugging. We're friends. Thank you very much. We're friends. Wow. All the other witness girls did that with each other too, holding each other's hands. I've literally seen 2 other witness girls kiss each other before. No one cared. But when it's me, it's a problem.
You said witness girls?
Yeah.
You said you've seen witness girls?
Yes. Like just in a very affectionate way, like you do with your friends, just casually. And I was like, okay, I'll take a note on that. But they started a rumor around the entire school, and the school was I don't want to say primarily. It was a very, very small school, and it had a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses in it, and then a lot of very strict kids with other religions. And so they spread a whole rumor around the entire school about how I was a lesbian and I was with that particular girl. And the particular girl decided to jump in too, of course, and was like, sure. Because they confronted her about it, and she was like, sure, I guess. No, we're not. And so I had to deal with all that. And then it got brought up between my parents And they were threatening to tell the congregation elders and everything like that. So that was pretty cool. That was a pretty fun life.
That was a fun time.
Horrible.
I'll never forget that evening. We were all, as a family watching TV and just having a good time. And then one of the girls' father called me and was like, it's one thing to like say this is what I've heard or this is what I have observed and like have a one-on-one conversation with the other parent about it. But when you start telling me like what I'm going to do and giving me ultimatums, like that's when the full-blown Negro comes out. So I had to go into the closet. I told you all I'd be right back, and I went into the closet and had some choice words with him. But it's like that's just that environment. In the Jehovah's Witness cult, they like to like self-police. They like to tattle on people. They like to be self-righteous and arrogant. And so, like I've always told you all, my issue that I've had with I guess being an adult and a parent in that cult was, and I've told you and your brother, I don't think I could turn my back on you all if you all chose to go a different path in life. Like, I'm not gonna like cut you all off and shun you all for decisions you make. And so, like now that you came out and said that you're lesbian, is that the term?
I'm not, I wouldn't say I'm lesbian. I'm more pansexual, but
No, guys are icky. Take it from me. But like I can't see myself. I couldn't see myself like turning my back on my own children. And so it was gonna come to it like a boiling point anyway. And like without giving away too much like family crap, but it's like even one of the older brothers, they decided to go a different path in life as far as sexuality go. And like me and your mom had dinner with them and told them like we left it open. Like we didn't tell him we were going to shun him. And this is when I was like, we were like deeply and strongly into the religion. And I still told him I wouldn't like cut him off. Like that's just not who I am. And so that's an issue for like to be in that religion. If you take that stance, that's an issue. So that was always in the back of my head anyway. And then like I posted, I went chemo May of 2023. But I thought I stayed in for so long because I didn't leave until December of 2024. So I was staying in on you all's behalf. like
I was staying on your behalf too.
For my family. So, and it got to a point I couldn't take it anymore. Like I don't like being fake. So when I stopped being an active witness, like how did that make you feel?
Before like we kind of had that conversation and you told me you weren't going to be an active witness anymore, I was already like, you know what, just all the stuff that's happened in my past and up to now, I'm done with this. And I was like, I'm going to leave regardless, whether, my dad, he chooses to stay in when I'm 18, I'm gone. If that's like, hopefully he'll still keep in contact with me if he decides to stay in. But I was so happy when you told me you were going out. I was like, oh, finally.
And then like, it's just funny, like, nobody is in anymore. And it's like, I tell them on some videos, it's like we're all learning each other, like new parts of ourselves, not being held back. And it's not even like we're out just wilding out or acting crazy. It's just life is just different without being constrained inside of that religion / cult.
Or finally what we probably wanted to be for a long time.
Yeah.
And it's so, because even when I was an active witness, I still had troubles. Of course, everyone does. And so I didn't take them too much to heart. Like I would still do, like I still smoked and stuff like that. Even when I was an active witness, I was just like, if no one finds out and it's just smoking here and there, I don't care. But now that I'm away from it, like it feels so much better because I've had to constrain almost every part of me when I was in that religion, and now just being able to be free and like do whatever I want and not have to worry about, well, how am I going to hide this and that? Like it feels so much better.
Yeah, it feels good not like having to live in a way that's not you. And for everybody who's wondering, I did not know some of the things she was doing
I
until
was,
I wasn't an active witness anymore, and she and I have just been having like real open dialogue, and I'm finding out like a lot of things, and I'm just like, what? But I would rather know, like, the truth than her feel like she can't talk to me. And
Mhm.
none of it was like just horrible or like real bad. It was just, you know, her being who she is.
That's a good way to put it.
But I don't know. I'll ask you this. So for me, I was in it for over 50 years,
Mhm.
and some things are just still hard for me. Some days I feel like I might hear something or someone will say something to me, and the first thing coming in my head is this is wrong, or I'm not supposed to be doing this, or like whatever it is. Do you have moments like that where like you were so indoctrinated in that religion that sometimes you feel like something you're doing is just wrong or you're gonna get in trouble?
Oh yeah. Like when I was very strong in the religion, I like I was always constantly so worried and scared of doing something wrong because I was like, even if I'm even before I was baptized, I was always worried doing something wrong because, of course, the constant fear of disappointing my parents. And then, you were a ministerial servant and all that. And I was like, oh, what if you'd had to step down if I did something like seriously wrong? And then when I got baptized and everything, like, and after I got baptized, I was pretty good in going out in service and I worked in LDC for a little bit. Um, and so, like, even during then, I had so many struggles and I like smoked all during then. I would literally go into one of the porta potties working LDC and be like, hold on, guys, I'll be back. Come back 15 minutes later trying to put my vape back in my purse without anyone noticing. So, like, they just got to a certain point, I just didn't care anymore. Because it was so confining, and I'm the type of person, if you, I forgot to tell you about that, yeah. But I'm still gonna be lore dropping on you till I'm like 35 and be like, oh yeah, when I was 13, I did this. I forgot to tell you about that. But like, I'm the type of person, if you tell me not to do something, I'm most likely going to do it. And so like it just was so confining to me and so irritating to me. I just stopped caring and I was like, if they find out, they find out. That's just one more reason for me to leave.
I can't believe at the LDC project.
All I was doing was serving food. It's fine. Most I was doing, anyways, was wiping down tables and listening to old sisters lecture me about my hair.
Oh yeah. So you asked me if you could get your hair a certain color, and what the first time you dyed it, what color was it?
The very, very first time I dyed it, it was a very dark red. And then the second time I dyed it, what was it? The second time I dyed it, it was like a dark copperish or ginger sort of. The third time was pink, and then the fourth time is blue.
Now the pink and the blue wasn't while we were active witnesses,
Yeah.
but yeah, that I remember it was supposed to be copper, and it came out like too orangey, so we had to go back because I was like, and I remember you were telling me your hairstylist why you needed to darken it, because you both was like, "Oh, I like the color it is now."
Mm-hmm.
And I was sitting over there on my phone, but you were like telling her we had to darken it up because how did you word it? Because of church, and like my father, he teaches a lot, so my hair can't be seen this bright.
That's what I think I said. Yeah, my dad teaches a lot, and I can't be looking like a traffic cone while he's on stage. I think that's what I said.
Yeah. But it's just things like that. We couldn't be ourselves because we were always worried about that. And like I said, I wanted to have you on because I have a lot of people that are still active witnesses, but they're like chemo. They have to physically go for whatever reason, but they're mentally checked out. And so that's like, like I said, I wanted to have you on because just so they can see like what young ones go through in that religion. And like another one of my friends, one of her kids like came out about their sexuality, and it's like she's pretty similar to me, so she didn't freak out. But there are some parents in that religion, if if the kid confided in them something about that, like their sexuality, or they feel different, like they would get really, really chastised by the parent, or they're told to you need to do more sacred service, they call it. You need to go out and field service more. You need to read the Bible more, and they're supposed to like poof it away. And so it's like that's why I like to have you on here so they can hear from someone your age. Like, these are real feelings, and like I don't know, do you have anything that you would suggest to parents who are still in that organization if they have teens who are trying to like find their identity and express themselves?
I'd say, honestly, to the parent, like, if your kid is a teen and wants to just express themselves, I'd say let them, because they can always come back. If they're like, the world definitely isn't working out for me, they can always come back. It's not the end of the world. You guys have watched The Prodigal Son 100 times. I know you guys know the story. They can always come back. And so, and like, I get it can be really hard when your kid leaves something, you've been in so long and you tried to engrave in them for so long. Like, I can get how that's hard. But at the same time, your kid is their own person. They're their own being, and you can't make their decisions for them. And that religion is definitely not for everybody, just like any religion.
Yeah. And they always scream free will, and
Mm-hmm.
everybody gets to a certain age and we make our own decisions. But in reality, even for somebody my age and my friends in the ex-JW community online, like we get ridiculed and chastised daily from active witnesses for expressing our free will.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can't even imagine how it is, for a younger person, because then you have to be shunned by your family. You're shunned by your friends. Your friends in school, they were telling you flat out they were going to shun you when they said
Oh,
they were
yeah.
going to stop talking to you.
And I've been shunned now,
Like
now
I've
that
just
I'm
always
officially
felt
left.
it was wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's like I told you. Some of your friends, like I told you, I know that they're probably still cool, but it's their parents who are
Some,
probably saying, "No, don't hang with her." Mm-hmm. And is there like a teaching that you can think of that you didn't really agree with? Something you heard at the Kingdom Hall or the platform, and you were just like, "I don't know if I really believe that," or "I don't know if that's really real."
mm-hmm. Most like talks where it would be centered around space. Like, I love space. I'm a space nerd. Most of them, I would just be kind of critiquing everything they would say, because with the amount of research I've done and the amount of knowledge I have about some of it, which of course I'm not like a genius about it, but like I know a good amount. Just something that never has sat right with me is that we're the only living things in this universe. That has never sat right with me. And so during the space talks, you know, they would be like, there's this whole galaxy, and they'll show like the Milky Way and everything, and be like, they'll show our solar system and be like, God created all of this, you know, this whole beautiful universe, and we're the only things living. We're the only people of his living. And I'm just like, no, we're not. There's absolutely no way. There's, God, so many universes, so many planets, the multiverse. Like, there is absolutely no way. And so that was one of the biggest things that prohibited me from even getting baptized, was because I don't believe this. Like, I don't believe we're the only life on earth. And it's such a big thing to Jehovah's Witnesses, you know, that we are the only life in the universe. And I'm like, there's no way.
Now, what do you think about like things like what happens to you when you die and all that? Did you agree with how the witnesses think about that when, like, what happens when we die? And I only asked that because you just brought up you feel there's other life forms in the universe.
Mm-hmm. I'm still doing a lot of research on it and everything. When I was an Jehovah's Witness, I just didn't think about it because I was like, I'm not going to try to convince myself. You know, I'm not going to subject myself to things that could possibly break up my relationship with the religion. But when I, you know, was really just kind of mentally like, oh, I'm definitely done with this, I did start doing like a bunch of other research on other religions and everything. And so I'm still doing that and still finding what I primarily believe, because there's a lot of things that could be and a lot of things that couldn't be. Like, it's just a whole mystery in general, but I'd say there's so many theories that could be what happened after death. I think the body itself, yes, they are just sleeping. The soul, the spirit, whatever, they're probably not still there. I hate to say it, but they're probably not still there. I don't believe that there are. I mean, there's a lot of different pathways that life could go with.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm at. I'm just, people ask me daily, like, what do I believe? And I'm like, for over 50 years, I've been taught one way. So I'm trying to, like, the first thing I've been doing in my deconstruction is just trying to, like, realize there are other ways to think other than what was built into our heads when we were in that religion.
Oh, yeah.
And so, yeah, I'm just trying to figure everything out. I'm going to start really diving into different beliefs, because when we're taught not to not to look at other beliefs and religions, and, like, basic things about them, but it's just like things on my mind like that, just like what you said. I've always thought, like, this big universe, and we're the only life form in it, so it's a lot of things to think about being outside of the Jehovah's Witness world. And now, like, we have the freedom to do that. And even though, people in that religion / cult, they're going to ridicule us. And what I hate when they say we weren't strong enough to make it as witnesses, so we left.
Exactly.
That's
it always doesn't. And they're always literally taught it doesn't depend on your strength. It only depends on your faith. That's it. So they always contradict themselves no matter what.
They do. It's like just now that we're outside that box and just looking in, I'm like, man, we were just crazy. We didn't want to hear other things. We didn't want to learn other things. The things we said to people were just cringy about, why we don't celebrate birthdays. Somebody made a video and it was like a joke in a joking way, but I'm like, oh my goodness, we were cringy, because that's what I would tell people. No, don't celebrate birthdays, because in the Bible, 2 people got their heads cut off.
Exactly.
And, my coworker standing there looking at me like, okay.
I always said, oh, I don't celebrate this or that because it's a pagan holiday. My religion, doesn't allow that. And they just kind of look at me and be like, okay, but Christians do, and you're a Christian, right? And I was like, don't ask me, dude. I don't know. Okay, just
Let me be crazy.
exactly. Just let me say this and go about my day. I don't want to think about it.
Speaking of, the next 2 months are going to be crazy because you are in September and I'm in October.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be exciting.
You and your friend, y'all have like your birthdays are just a day apart. So
Mm-hmm.
you all are gonna celebrate together, and then me in October, I haven't celebrated it since 2008, my birthday, and like went out to celebrate with your mom and some friends, and we were just gonna bar hop all night. The first bar we went to, I get roofied, and don't remember much of it. So this year I'm going to celebrate again, and hopefully I'm not drugged, and it'll be nice. If I get drugged
Hopefully.
this time, the witnesses will be like, "See, that's why you're not supposed to do it."
Exactly. You get roofied every time you celebrate your birthday. How could you not know this? It's in the Bible.
See, and then I would have to use that excuse like they use. The two guys got their heads cut off for birthdays. I would be like, "I got roofied the 2 times I celebrated." But
Both 2 times.
yeah, but no, I'm gonna be safe this time.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy to think about stuff like that, and now we can like just the different possibilities of what go on around us in the universe and our lives. Like we can think freely now, and it's
Mm-hmm.
like to me, it's different to have that freedom to think. Like,
Oh yeah.
do you? Is it some days you find it different as well?
I mean, some days, like my indoctrinated brain, like I'll be doing something, and my brain's like, you don't believe this. You believe in God, and I'm like, stop telling me that. No, I don't. Leave me alone. But it's very rarely now. Now that I've been kind of one mentally out of it and physically out of it for so long, like I've just been kind of done with it, and it doesn't bother me as much as it did. But definitely when I was starting to explore, just the different options where I could take my life if it was a different religion or just different beliefs in general, it was definitely really difficult for me to just sit there and read about another religion and not feel like I'm betraying some part of me.
Mm-hmm.
But just over time, as I did it, I mean, it got a lot easier, and I just learned more and more. And it's one of my favorite subjects to just research by myself is different beliefs and what could really be happening around the universe and everything like that, and like folklore, mythology.
Mm-hmm. So you look at a lot of things. So I guess your mind is at your age you are now. When I was your age, my mind wasn't as well rounded as yours is. Like it was one way that I thought, and it was the
Hmm.
truth, or what they call the truth. And like I posted yesterday, I posted like the book that was around when I was a boy that they used to bring people into the religion, and it was
Hmm.
the Truth book, blue book, the truth that leads to eternal life.
Hmm.
And so, like, to give you an idea of like how closed my mind was, like I would read that book when I was young. I would read it once a month. Like
Oh
it
man.
was a 192-page book, and so those things that was in there were just in my head. And then the next publication came, I think, the Life Everlasting book. It was a red book, bigger. I didn't read it as quite as often, but those are the only things I fed into my brain. But
Hmm.
at least you look at other things and like yeah, like I said, you have a well-rounded way of thinking at your age, which is great. We
Hmm.
weren't allowed to do that too much,
Oh yeah.
especially back in the day. It was very monitored what we looked at. Again, like I said, if I would have had the internet back then when I was a boy, yeah, I know I wouldn't have been in the truth.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Especially if you really did look at your other options and everything. Definitely not.
And that's why they try to keep active witnesses now away from the internet a lot, because they know
Especially
that
the young ones.
we're around. Yep. And I have people studying who message me asking me, they just want to know the real deal about that religion.
Mm-hmm.
And then something else you mentioned a few minutes ago, you said going to meetings and assemblies would cause you anxiety.
Oh yeah.
And so, what was that from mainly? Like, why
It
would you get
was
anxiety?
it was a lot of social anxiety because especially with assemblies and conventions, there's so many people there. And of course, I definitely wasn't used to it just from being in, our small little congregation and everything. Um, and so I remember I was always nervous during that. And there was so much socially going on and so much I had to pay attention to. It was really overwhelming for me. And a lot of time I'll get like super overstimulated because it's so loud. You can hear people like whispering, coughing, sneezing, sniffing 24/7, and like you have to hear the speaker, and like my mind, if I get like too overwhelmed or overstimulated with any sort of noise, it'll just hyper fixate on the smallest, most annoying sounds. And so I remember I would just be sitting there always having to listen to like the speakers swallow, or just like the way their lips would smack when they would talk, or you could hear the spit gather in their mouth, and I would just hate it, and I would be so miserable. And then the older I got, the more we went to assemblies and conventions, the more just kind of tired of it I was, because my mind is always so active and I always have to be doing something one way or another. Like they just sitting there for pretty much an entire school day, but it felt longer than a school day because there was like no breaks besides lunch. Um, just having to sit there and try to keep occupied was so difficult for me.
Mm. Yeah, and that's a lot of people go through that with their children.
Mhm.
Especially like for me, it's so much different. The organization is a lot different now than when I came up, and so like even as an adult, I would get bored uh, at assemblies and conventions, because when I was a boy, they used to talk about deep things, and we would learn about different prophets or different Bible writers, and they would apply it like to the time we live in now. And like where now it's just more, it's like the same stuff repetitive over and over and over. Like, and
Mhm.
it's, I can see how that could be bad with someone who suffers from anxiety. And like, that's something else that parents have to think about as well. It's so much things that are expected of parents with kids, but like, what if it isn't for your kid? Then I don't, like me personally, I just don't believe in forcing it on a kid. And
Mhm.
sometimes I would feel bad because your child, and I could see like that your mind was elsewhere, or you were bored, or like something like that. So it's just like it always presented a challenge, especially the older you got. Like when you were younger, we used to go out and field service a lot and
Mhm.
spend most of the days in the film ministry, and those were fun. Like I
Oh
don't
yeah.
have any regrets about it, but it's just the older you got, the more I thought about as a parent, like what will I do if she decides that this religion isn't for her? Like that's a serious conversation I think parents in religion need to have with themselves, because to me you're only setting yourself up for heartache if you just assume that they're going to stay in that religion, you know,
Oh yeah.
even when they're an adult. And so it's been eye opening, and I'm like I said, I'm glad that you felt comfortable enough to like express your individuality, and like what you have now. Like you said, you can color your hair any way you want to now. Like, is there any
Exactly.
part of you that miss any part of that religion?
The only thing I miss about that religion is two of my very, very dear friends that I had. in that religion, but that's it. And of course, I was shunned by them when I left. But other than that, like I don't have anything I really miss. I don't. Yeah, there's really nothing I miss. Besides those two people. I'm like, no, I'm good. But it's also like I don't regret anything I've ever done while I was in that religion. I'm glad I was raised in it, even though sometimes I wouldn't be that happiest. It made me who I am, and it gave me an outlook on life for sure.
Yeah, and that's what I try to explain to people too. I don't have any regrets because I was all in for the majority of my life. I don't have any regrets, but I like there are things I'm glad I don't do anymore. Um, but yeah, I don't have anything I really miss from being in it. I did a lot. Uh, like I told you all, when I was on the AV department at my last convention in May of 2023, I told you that was the last goal I had. Like being
Oh yeah.
on at a regional convention on the AV department. That was like the last spiritual goal I had, and like I was just checked out after that. Like I didn't care about it. I don't miss anything. I've done a lot. Now I think the only thing I focus on is just like deconstructing from that way of thinking and just figuring out like the future and everything without fear. Hmm. And so I do have like ones that message me on my different social media accounts that are upper teens, like 18, 19, and 20. And some, their parents are studying, some, their family is just fully in that religion. So I know they listen and everything. Do you have anything that you would like to say to them, to those teens that are in it and who are thinking, like, is this really for me or what do I want to do in life? Do you have anything you would like to say to them?
Honestly, just explore your options because life is short. We don't know how short it's going to be. You might as well live your life being happy and not having to be too worried about one religion constricting you your entire life. And you can always go back if you decide, the world's not for me, or you don't find anything particularly in your interest, or you just miss it. You can always go back. Nothing's stopping you from going back. But there will always, in that religion, there will always be something stopping you from exploring your options.
Oh yeah, yeah, man. That's basically what I tell them because I never tell anybody to stop going, but yeah, try to let them know it's a whole big world out there, and if you just pigeonhole yourself into this for the rest of your life, then I just let them know like this is what you're gonna expect, you know. So it's the choice is theirs, but I think it will come better from like one of their peers, like from you, to hear it from you. So yeah, thank you because yeah, it's a tough decision, especially in those ages 18, 19, and 20 because you're about to start your life and you have your own individuality, but then on the other side, you don't want to disappoint your parents.
Oh yeah.
Don't want to disappoint people at the Kingdom Hall. And it's a lot, for a young person to think about. So yeah, it's commendable that you. I wouldn't have even if you would have wanted to keep going to meetings, I wouldn't have ridiculed you or tried to stop you.
I definitely did not.
Your brother was the one I was like, I didn't know what he would do, like if he would want to still keep going or not. But I think he's happy where he's at.
I think so.
Oh boy. Well, this has been a blast to have you on and pick your mind, and I hope it brings some value to parents to kind of see what someone in your age group, how you think, and I hope it brings value to young ones that may be listening or watching that may be feeling stuck or confused or don't know what they want to do. That's why I wanted to have you on here. So I appreciate you being on here.
Of course. Thank you for inviting me and having me on here.
Oh yeah, you're welcome. Anything else you would like to say before I close out?
I'd say just a note to parents: don't be too hard on your kids, especially in that religion. It's a very taxing religion, especially for young people. Having to go to school, get ridiculed almost every day, and go to meetings, participate, comment, read the literature. Sit still. It's hard enough. And you don't want to have your kids grow older and you have to wonder to yourself, why don't my kids talk to me anymore? So be easy on your kids and make sure that you're listening to them when they express themselves and you're listening to the way they act around certain things, especially around the religion, and make sure they're comfortable to talk to you.
Mm. Yeah, that's great advice. Yeah. So, yeah, I appreciate it.
Of course.
This won't be the only time you're on here.
It better not be.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you.
Everyone, thank you for listening. Remember to go to, I'm pretty much on every social media platform. Just look up EXJW, EXJDUB, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Reddit. Just look. Look at that. I don't know if you can see it, but I have a private Facebook group. Is that the right way, Aaliyah?
Hold on. Yes.
Okay. Well, that's my private Facebook group. The ex-JW network. So if you are on Facebook, like that's a group I made, a private group for us, ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, because like I have all my social media accounts, but those pesky active Jehovah's Witnesses still pop up on there spewing their hate and contempt because we have freedom now. So I made that private Facebook group for us to, like, for our community to just talk and be ourselves and laugh and just support one another without having to worry about those Jehovah's Witnesses popping up. So if you're on Facebook, look me up on that too. Private group, the ex-JW network. But yeah, thank you again, Shante, for being here.
Of course. Thank you for inviting me and having me. It was lovely.
You're welcome. Thank you. All right. So until next time, you all be
Bye.
good. Do great things. All right.